Hello everyone and welcome back, or welcome if you're here for the first time, to our channel Make Believe Storytime. My name is Beatrice and today you're joining me in my magical den for another original make-believe story called Goggles. This story is about another one of Leo's adventures. Now, do you remember Leo, girls and boys, from our Christmas story? If you haven't seen it yet, do make sure to check it out. You can find it on our channel. Today's video is part of our series called Original Make-Believe Stories, and we've chosen to name it so because all of these stories are created from scratch with lots of love and dedication by our team for you guys. Sam Ellswood writes all the stories, Juan Siu creates all the illustrations to go with it, and I have been tasked with reading all these stories aloud for you. Now, sit back, relax, and let's see what Leo's been up to, shall we? Goggles. Leo loved his days with Nan. Nan gave him biscuits and cakes, even though it was nearly lunchtime. And he didn't have to sit at the table to eat them. He could sit on the sofa with a tea towel on his lap to catch the crumbs and wipe his sticky mitts, Nan told him. Sometimes Nan took Leo swimming, and these were wonderful days because Leo loved to splash in the water and jump off the side of the pool. Nan always smiled and pretended to tell him off for making her glasses wet. One day in June, when the sun was very hot, Nan told Leo that they were going to the beach for the day and they would stop at a shop on the way to buy some goggles so he could go under the water. Leo laughed. Nan frowned at him. "What's funny?" she asked. "You're joking," he said. "No, I'm not." "I thought you'd like to go to the beach." I can't go under the water," Leo said, feeling scared. They were sitting at the bus stop. There was nobody else around and the blue sky went on for miles above them. Leo looked up at it and imagined it was a sea and would land on his head any moment. "That's what the goggles are for," Nan said. "And I'll be with you. We aren't going to swim across the ocean or dive down for shipwrecks. I just thought it would be nice to look at some of the fish and the other creatures in the rock pools." Leo let out his breath. He had been holding on to it in case the ocean sky fell on him. "Is that okay?" Leo nodded, feeling a little bit silly. As the bus rolled down the lane towards the little seaside town, Leo gazed out of the window to see if he could glimpse the sea. It would be cold. But Nan always thought of these things, so he didn't worry about it. She'd probably have sea slippers and an ocean coat in her bag for him. They got off the bus and walked to the little beach shop. "Hello there," came the jolly greeting from Pam, the shop owner. Pam was possibly the most smiley person Leo had ever met. Her eyes and her cheeks and her chin and even her ears smiled at you. "And what can I do for you today, my love?" "Packet and spade, is it? Ice cream?" "I know, a sun hat." Leo didn't answer. He was feeling worried about the sea again. "Goggles, please," Nan said, "and a rock pooling net." Pam's face smiled bigger than ever. "Would you believe I just got some fancy new goggles in, arrived last night?" She ducked below the counter and after some sliding, crackling, bumping sounds, she popped back up again, the top of her face covered by a great big diving mask. "Oh, wow," Nan said. I just meant the sort of goggles you wear in the swimming pool. They look like some sort of snorkeling mask." Pam laughed. "That's exactly what they are," she said. "These are gillies, a new invention by some chap up the coast. They've got these tubes in them, see?" She pulled the gillies off to show Nan and Leo. "And there's Gizmo in the middle." Leo and Nan peered at the gillies while Pam explained. "The tubes suck in the seawater and take it to the Gizmo, which pulls out the oxygen and releases it into the mask so you can breathe under the water. It means you can swim like a fish." "Or a mermaid," Leo said. Pam laughed. "The best bit," Pam said excitedly, "is that they are powered entirely by the sun. There are little solar panels on the eyebrows and another one on the strap. Don't go too far down, mind. They aren't made for diving." "We'll take 2 pairs, please," Nan said. "Wonderful," Pam said, and she ducked under the counter for another pair. The gillies were not easy to put on. Leo and Nan fell about laughing, but eventually they had worked it out. Leo felt very strange walking down to the rock pools with his face half covered, but as he slipped into the water he was amazed how they seemed to melt away. The little gizmo made a gentle humming sound, and after a while Leo noticed that the air inside the mast began to taste salty. The small sandy beach they were on had an impressive network of rock pools that ranged from tiny puddles to deep pools. Some of the larger pools were connected by channels or archways so that Nan and Leo could swim from one to the next before climbing out to get to the following one. Leo carried the net while Nan held the bucket. As he scanned the sandy floor of the rock pool, Leo felt Nan's hand on his arm. He looked at her and she pointed down to a large red crab coming out from under one of the rocks. The sunshine streamed down through the water and made the rocks glitter and sparkle. Nan held up her other hand and Leo waited. Then, quick as a flash, he sunk the net into the soft sand and scooped up the crab. Nan held out the bucket and Leo tipped the crab gently into it. They floated there silently for a few minutes, studying the crab. Leo looked at his spiky legs and rust-coloured shell. He was beautiful. After a few minutes, Nan gently turned the bucket upside down, close to the sand so that the crab could scuttle out. She smiled at Leo and they swam towards the next pool. As they passed through the next archway, Leo saw some bright purple seaweed growing out of the rocks. He swam over and peered closely at the long tendrils swaying gently in the water. Tiny brown shrimps bobbed in and out of the colourful strands. Out of the corner of his eye, he noticed a bright flash and swung his head around to see a shoal of tiny silver fish dart past. Leo floated just beneath the surface of the water and stared at the fish as they twinkled in the sunlight. He began to swim towards the fish, then stopped. The temperature had dropped. His skin prickled and the water around him began to rock and sway. The soft yellow sand was gone and the water beneath him was dark. And there were no rocks. He couldn't be in a rock pool if there were no rocks. Leo had swum out of the pool and straight into the sea. He looked around to find Nan's smiling face. She held onto his hand and they swam up to the surface. The water was so much louder up here and the sound of seagulls screeching overhead made it hard for Leo to concentrate. "You okay?" Nan asked. Leo looked all round him. The beach looked so small. How had they come so far? "Yes," he answered in a small voice. "But can we go back now, please?" "Of course we can. It will be easier to swim under the water. Hold on to my arm and don't let go." Leo took hold of Nan's arm. He looked around nervously. The water was beginning to pull at his legs. Nan dipped back under the surface, taking Leo with her. The noise disappeared and Leo felt better immediately. Nan began to swim and Leo held on tight, his fingers gripping her arm as she raced through the water. Leo had no idea she could swim so fast. He glanced behind them at the cloud of bubbles they were making and saw a flash of scales in the sunlight and the flick of a green-blue tail fin. Before he could open his mouth to scream, they broke the surface of the water with a splash and Nan lifted Leo onto the edge of the rock pool. The sun was warm on Leo's skin. Nan climbed out of the water and came to stand beside him. They walked carefully across the rocks, Leo carrying the net and Nan carrying the bucket. Leo jumped down onto the soft, warm sand and turned to look at Nan. As she stepped down after him, her legs seemed to shimmer in the sun, and there was the faintest hint of green about them. "Nan, your legs look all green and sparkly." Nan looked down curiously and smiled at Leo. "It's just a reflection of the sun on the water, I expect." Leo nodded but didn't say anything. They walked slowly up the beach to Pam's shop. "How did you swim so fast?" he asked as they climbed up off the sand. Nan smiled warmly at him. "I'm a bit of a water baby," she said. Leo's eyes widened as pictures of baby mermaids popped into his mind. Nan laughed at the stunned look on his face. It just means I like being in the water. I've had lots of practice. Now, how about an ice cream? The end. That was it, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed Leo and Nanny's adventure at the beach. And I don't know about you, but it's definitely made me look forward to summer and obviously spending a day at the beach. Also, I wonder, what do you think, girls and boys? Is Leo's nanny really a mermaid? There's something to think about until next time. And remember, if you've enjoyed today's story, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share this video with any friends or family you think may enjoy it. And to make sure you don't miss out on any of our content, head over to our channel and hit that notification bell as well. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time.